Opening Impact, let me ask you something that might shake you to your core. When was the last time you were truly alone with your dreams? Not scrolling through social media, not listening to podcasts, not drowning in the noise of the world. Just you, your thoughts, and the raw, unfiltered truth about where you are and where you want to be. I remember the exact moment this hit me. It was 3 a.m., sitting alone in my apartment, surrounded by the ruins of what I thought was my life's work. My third failed business lay in pieces around me. My bank account was empty, and that voice in my head, "You know the one," kept whispering, "Maybe you're just not meant for this." But in that moment of complete solitude, something extraordinary happened. A different voice emerged, quieter but somehow stronger, saying, "Promise me something. No matter how long it takes, keep going. No matter how much it hurts, keep going." You see, we live in a world that's terrified of both solitude and struggle. We fill every moment with noise, every setback with excuses, every failure with distractions. But what if I told you that your moments of deepest solitude, those moments when you feel most alone with your challenges, are actually your greatest opportunities for transformation? Think about this. You were placed on this earth for a reason. You weren't meant to be average. You were meant to excel. But that excellence is forged in the fire of solitude, tempered by the hammer of persistence, and shaped by the chisel of relentless effort. Theme introduction. Let me share something profound that I discovered in those lonely hours of grinding when no one was watching. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't isn't talent or luck or even opportunity. It's their relationship with solitude and struggle. I remember working with Michael, a gifted athlete who was on the verge of quitting after a devastating injury. Everyone's passing me by, he told me, tears in his eyes. I can't watch another Instagram story of my competitors succeeding while I'm stuck here. That's when I introduced him to what I call the warrior's solitude, a practice of turning your lonely moments into your most powerful training ground. Because here's the truth, while others are busy showing their journey, you need to be busy living yours. We implemented a radical protocol: no social media for 3 months, 2 hours of complete solitude each day, deep work in absolute silence. Just him, his recovery, and his unwavering commitment to excellence. 6 months later, he didn't just return to his sport. He redefined what was possible in it. The solitude, he told me, taught me that my only real competition was the person I was yesterday. You see, everyone wants the glory, but few are willing to embrace the solitude required for greatness. Everyone wants the result, but few are willing to fall in love with the process. Everyone wants the transformation, but few are willing to spend time alone in their own chrysalis. Main content, the sacred practice of solitary grinding. Let me tell you something that most motivational speakers won't. There are no hacks, no shortcuts, no easy ways out. In the silence of solitude, this truth becomes crystal clear. It's just you against you. I remember working with Sarah, a writer who was struggling to finish her first novel. "I've tried everything," she told me. "Every productivity hack, every writing technique, every trick in the book." But here's what she was missing: the power of what I call the sacred grind. We established her solitude protocol: 3 hours of complete silence each morning. No phone, no internet, no distractions. Just her words, and her commitment to excellence every single day, whether she felt inspired or not. The first week was hell, she admitted. My mind screamed for distraction. My fingers itched to check social media, but something happened in that silence. You see, in solitude, you discover this profound truth. The grind isn't something to endure. It's something to embrace. It's meant to make you who you're supposed to be, Exercise. Create your own sacred grind ritual. Find your quiet space. Set non-negotiable hours. Remove all distractions. Show up especially when you don't want to. The power of invisible progressors, a truth that only reveals itself in solitude. Real growth happens in the dark. Like a seed pushing through soil, your most significant transformations occur when no one's watching. I worked with James, an entrepreneur who was frustrated by his apparent lack of progress. "I'm working harder than ever," he said, "but I have nothing to show for it." That's when we implemented what I call the darkroom protocol. Every evening, in complete solitude, he would document his small wins, no matter how tiny. Write about his struggles without judgment. Plan his next day's battles. Remind himself, work, 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 work. No results, but I'm a little bit better. Because here's the reality. Effort often goes unnoticed. Get used to it. No one roots for you until everyone roots for you. That's just how it works. The solitary warrior's mindset. Let me share something powerful about solitude and perseverance. When you're truly alone with your goals, you discover that most people cannot push through the challenging, draining, frustrating times that make everybody else quit. This is what I call the warrior's choice. The decision you make when no one's watching, when no one's cheering, when the only voice you hear is your own. Take Marcus, a businessman who lost everything in the market crash. Instead of giving up, he embraced what I call the solitude solution. 5 hours of focused work before dawn. Complete isolation from negative influences. Ruthless elimination of excuses. Daily reinforcement of his mission. In solitude, he told me, I learned that success isn't about being better than others. It's about being better than your previous self. The price of greatness, no. Let me tell you something that might be hard to hear. Along the way to your dreams, you're going to lose friends. You're going to get made fun of. You're going to get criticized. You're going to have days, weeks, sometimes months where you question everything. But here's the truth that emerges in solitude. These aren't obstacles. They're filters. They're not stopping you. They're selecting you. I remember working with Lisa, an athlete who was told she was too old to compete. Everyone thinks I'm crazy, she said. But in her solitary training sessions, she discovered something powerful. The opinions of others matter far less than your own unshakable belief. Exercise. In your next moment of solitude, ask yourself, am I willing to pay the full price for my dreams? Am I ready to be misunderstood? Am I prepared to trust my own voice above all others? To be continued in Part 3. This section focuses on the importance of consistent, solitary effort, embracing invisible progress, developing mental toughness through solitude, understanding the true cost of pursuing greatness, the transformation through solitude. Let me share something profound about this journey you're on. The most powerful transformations happen when no one's watching. In those quiet moments when it's just you, your dreams, and your determination. Think about a butterfly in its chrysalis. The most crucial part of its transformation happens in complete solitude. No audience, no applause, no validation, just the sacred work of becoming. I remember working with David, a man who was trying to completely reinvent himself. I keep waiting for someone to notice my efforts, he told me. That's when we developed what I call the invisible growth protocol. Every single day, in complete solitude, he would put in the work before dawn, document his progress privately, celebrate his small wins alone. Keep pushing when no one was looking. The hardest part, he shared, wasn't the work itself. It was learning to trust the process when I couldn't see immediate results. Remember this, while others are busy announcing their goals on social media, you need to be busy achieving yours in silence. The power of relentless action. Here's a truth that only emerges in solitude. The only thing standing between you and everything you've ever wanted is consistent action. Not motivation, not inspiration, just relentless, day after day action. I call this the Action Manifesto. Every complaint must be matched with a solution. Every excuse must be answered with action. Every setback must be met with doubled effort. Every doubt must be drowned in work. Take Sarah, a woman who spent years talking about starting her business. "I'm waiting for the right time," she'd say. But in solitude, she finally faced the truth. There is no right time. There's only right now. We created her solitary action protocol. Wake up at 4 a.m. Pure solitude. 2 hours of focused work before the world wakes up. No social media until daily goals are met. Complete isolation from negative influences. In the quiet hours, she told me, I finally understood success isn't about what you're going to do. It's about what you're doing right now. The sacred art of persistence. Now, let me share something crucial about persistence and solitude. Most people quit not because they can't do it, but because they can't handle the loneliness of the journey. Think about this. The greatest achievements in human history were born from thousands of hours of solitary persistence. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb in a crowded room. Einstein didn't develop relativity at a party. I worked with Michael, an artist who was ready to give up after years of rejection. We implemented what I call the persistence protocol, daily solitary creation time. Zero external validation needed. Complete focus on the craft, unwavering commitment to improvement. Remember, the only distance you need to travel is the distance between where you are and where you want to be. And that journey, it's often a solitary one. Final integration and call to action. Let me leave you with this powerful truth. You were placed on this earth for a reason. You weren't meant to be average. You were meant to excel. But that excellence, it's forged in the fires of solitary dedication. Your journey to greatness requires embracing solitude as your training ground. Falling in love with the process, not just the goal. Taking relentless action, especially when no one's watching. Persisting when others would quit. Remember, the pain of staying the same must become greater than the pain of change. That's when transformation becomes inevitable. Inspirational ending. As you leave here today, I want you to make a promise, not to me, but to yourself. Promise that no matter how long it takes, you'll keep going. No matter how much it hurts, you'll keep pushing. Because here's the ultimate truth. The world doesn't need more people who give up when it gets hard. It needs more warriors who understand that solitude is where strength is built, character is forged, and greatness is born. Tonight, when you're alone with your thoughts, don't run from the silence. Embrace it. Let it teach you. Let it strengthen you. Remember, every moment of solitude is an opportunity for growth. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every day of consistent action brings you closer to your dreams. Your journey starts now, in the quiet moments when no one's watching, in the sacred space of your own determination. What will you do with your solitude? Will you use it to become extraordinary? The choice is yours. But remember, the world is waiting for the gift that only you can give, the unique contribution that only you can make. Are you ready to embrace the power of solitude? Are you ready to become who you were meant to be? The journey begins now, in silence, in solace, in strength. Share your commitment below. Let's build a community of warriors who understand that the most powerful transformations happen in the quiet moments of unwavering dedication. Your time is now. What first step will you take in solitude today? Remember, every great story has lonely chapters. Make yours count.